Oh. Wow. Are you kidding me? What's up guys, it's Jordan Jenkins. I'm back with another video for you guys today. Today we are going to be talking about how to buy a house and the steps that come along with that. I am a licensed real estate agent here in Columbus, Ohio, and I do service the central Ohio area. Yeah, so the number one question I get from friends, family, my DMs from social media is, Jordan, how do we buy a house? So I want to go over like those steps step by step. And make that knowledge readily available to anyone and everyone, because home ownership is so important. Normally, especially like being a millennial, you know, we don't really think of home ownership as like an asset, right? We want the new iPhone, we want the new MacBook, we want to go on vacations, but it really is such a great resource to build wealth for yourself and generational wealth for your kids, or, you know, for your dogs if you don't have kids. So if you do live in Central Ohio or Columbus and you are interested in what the process looks like, feel free to reach out to me. My email number and my social media ads are down below. So go down there and pick whichever one, get a hold of me, and I would love to set up a buyer consultation and kind of walk you through the process a little bit more in detail. But let's jump into it, shall we? All right, perfect. All right, so step one. Step one, you're gonna have to review your finances, right? That's a big part of home buying. There is like a misconception that you need 20% down to buy a house. I mean, in some cases that may be true. And some people do put 20% down, but that's not a requirement. So you can actually put down as little as 3%. And depending on which state you live, which cities, there are programs. So there's like first-time home buying programs, there's down payment assistant programs that will help you, but that will help significantly with down payment. A lot of people do conventional or FHA, and those go down as low as 3%. So you don't have to have this huge down payment. You might not even have to have one at all if you do the down payment assistance programs. But typically I like to tell my clients, you know, about 5 to 8% is what you're gonna have to pay out of pocket to purchase a house. And that's gonna be 5 to 8% of the total purchase price. So let's say let's do 100,000, right? That's easy math. I'm not good at math, but I know how to do it. So 100,000, and if you have to spend 5 to 8% out of pocket for, you know, down payment or closing costs or whatever, that's, you know, $5,000 to $8,000 out of pocket. So after you review your finances and you think you're in a good spot to possibly buy, step two would definitely be to meet with a trusted realtor, right? So you need to find a realtor that you trust, one that's professional, one that knows what they're doing, most important. And most likely, if they are a good realtor, they will have a buyer's presentation with you, or a buyer consultation, as you may hear. The first thing that I like to do in the buyer consultation is I like to go over the process, but also the first thing I'm gonna have you do is get pre-approved with a lender, right? So getting your pre-approval is like the most important step to actually get the home buying process started. And then that might lead you to the next question. What is a pre-approval? So a pre-approval is where a lender will go over all of your finances, like your W-2s, your income tax returns, verifying your job, verifying your assets and your liabilities and all of that stuff. And they will come up with a number, and that's what you're pre-approved for. The reason it's so important is because, you know, we can go look at 100 homes, right? Do all the research we want, but if you fall in love with one of them and you don't have the pre-approval to submit with an offer, then they're not gonna take you seriously. So we really need that pre-approval up front. That way, once we do get to the point of looking for a house, we have that, we can write the offer, send it out, and hopefully it gets accepted. And normally pre-approvals, they last like 30 to 90 days. And then after you get your pre-approval, obviously the next step is gonna be looking for your new home. So the average amount of time for looking for a house, I feel like in this market is right around a month. Like I feel like if you're serious and you have your pre-approval and everything, all your ducks are in a row, it takes about 30 days, I feel like, with consecutively going and looking for the homes. It may take a little bit longer if you're a little bit pickier, if you have like a certain aesthetic you're going for, it might take you a little bit longer. But right around that 30-day mark, I feel like is where most of my clients find their house. So after we go out and we look and you find a beautiful home, the next step would be to write an offer. So there's 3 things that can happen when you write an offer and submit it. So they can accept it, they can reject it, or they can counter it. If they accept it, congratulations, you are now in contract. If they reject it, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Don't get discouraged. We will find you the perfect home for you. And if they counter it, then they just came back and said, hey, those terms, maybe the price, maybe the possession, a term that they didn't like. It could be a number of things, but at least that gives you room to then open the floor to negotiations. And then after you reach a point of either an offer acceptance or rejection, then we either go back to looking for new homes and we will write more offers, or you're in contract. So congratulations, if they accept it, you're in contract. And the contract period is normally about 28 to 45 days. And in this period, there's gonna be your inspections, there's going to be the remedy period, and there's also going to be an appraisal. That's when underwriting for finance or and the title, to make sure the title is clean, to make sure the financing is going to go through. All of that happens in that period. I definitely 100% recommend getting an inspection for all of my clients. There are some people who have been waiving it in this crazy market. I highly am skeptical. No, that's not the right word. I don't approve of it. This is a large investment. This is a large investment, probably the largest investment anyone's ever going to make. So I feel like you should definitely do your due diligence and have an inspection done, because what happens if you get in the house and like it needs all of this work and now you're just like out of luck. Inspection period is normally like 7 to 10 days. And then remedy is like another 3 to 5 days. Remedy period is where if we do the inspection, which I highly recommend, and if the inspection comes back and there's something we don't like, we can then go back to the sellers and say, hey, the roof is bad, or this is bad, or X, Y, Z is bad. Would you be willing to replace it? Then we have a little bit of negotiations again, where they'll either fix it or they won't, and then we possibly could walk away and get your earnest money back. Same thing with the inspection. If the inspection comes back terrible and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, we can get your earnest money back, which is normally about $1,000, kind of like good faith money. So you just write a check once you're in contract and deposit that to the brokerage. You can get that back and you walk away, and the only fee that you're out is the $300 to $400 for the inspection. After that, you do the appraisal. The title company and the lending company, they're doing all of their underwriting stuff to make sure the financing is going to go through, to make sure that the title is going to come back clean with no liens on the property, which means, you know, we can take that title of the home and transfer it to another person. After you make it through the end contract period, it's time to go to the closing table, which is my favorite part. Congrats, we made it to closing day. Woo! So at the closing table, on closing day, everyone comes together, and that's basically the day you sign your life away. And you'll have all of the paperwork there, you'll be signing, you'll be getting keys that day. If you did not negotiate like extended possession to the sellers. Most of my clients get to move in time and date of closing. So yeah, at the signing table, after you signed literally your life away, you will get the keys to your new home. That's kind of like the fast track of how to buy a house. If you guys have any questions at all, please comment them down below. I will answer them as fast as I possibly can. And Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The YouTube algorithm loves when you guys do that. That will also help me push out my content to share the importance of homeownership with not only our generation, but all generations. If you guys do live in Central Ohio and you guys are interested in buying a house, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you, schedule a buyer consultation. One last thing, also, please follow me on TikTok and Instagram at allaboutjordan, 2 T's in the about. And lastly, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys got a large amount of knowledge today. I hope you guys learned a ton, and I hope you guys are on this journey to build wealth for yourself. And that's what this is all about, building wealth. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay blessed.